So we're going to kick off our gut health series with how to make kombucha. So many people want to know what exactly kombucha is. So to make it at home, here's what you need. You need to get a glass container. You can get this on Amazon for 20 bucks or so. I'll put a link in the comments. But the critical part that you're going to want to find is a SCOBY. So a SCOBY is what you see floating in the bottom of this. And many people wonder, what exactly is a SCOBY? So a SCOBY stands for a symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast. And that's exactly what this guy is. He's a bunch of bacteria and yeast together. And that's what takes your tea that we're going to make. And I'm going to use some organic black tea and blueberry, because blueberry seems to be a favorite in this house. And we're going to make kombucha. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with some boiling water. And you see my glass jar is a 2-gallon jar, so I need 20 tea bags. So I have 10 black tea, which I'm going to turn off the flames because last time I lit a tea bag on fire. And then I have 10 blueberry. So I'm just going to put that in our boiling water, and we're just going to let that steep, and we're going to make some tea. And in the meantime, we're going to get our glass container ready for our next batch of SCOBY. So to get our container ready, what we're going to have to do is we're going to take our SCOBY out. So you see I'm just going to fold this over, and I'm going to pull him out. And this is just temporary. He's going to go back in a little bit. But we're going to put him in a separate container. But it's very important to make sure he's covered with juice at all time. Okay, so it took both hands to get the juice back over our SCOBY. So you might be asking, where does one find a SCOBY? Well, I was lucky enough to have my friend Kristen give me a starter SCOBY. This guy's about 2 years old, so he's had some good time to ferment my tea. But you can get a starter organic SCOBY on Amazon. Again, I will put a link in the comment section. There might be some other sources. I haven't been able to find one local, but if you have someone that can give you a starter SCOBY, obviously that would be a great start. So the next step is, now that we've got SCOBY out and covered in his juices, I have drained my tea. You can see that it's still warm, so we're going to let that sit here for a second. So since I have a 2-gallon container, and I had said earlier I needed 20 tea bags. So if you had a 1-gallon container, you're going to use 10 tea bags. So what we need to do is we need to make sure that our SCOBY has some food for the next couple weeks while he's sitting here. So we're going to add to our empty jar some sugar. So I actually have 2 cups of sugar that I'm going to add to my jar. Again, if you'd have a 1 gallon, you're just going to add 1 cup of sugar. So while my tea, it's cooled off a little bit, I like to add it to the jar while it's still warm. Helps dissolve the sugar. So we're going to add our steeped tea to the jar. Probably what you didn't see is I dumped half that tea all over my counter. So what I'm going to do is stir this up. So you can see the sugar at the bottom starting to dissolve into the tea. So you're just going to stir that up a little bit. Let that continue to cool off. And once that sugar has dissolved, then you can go ahead and just add some cool water to it. So just going to dump cool water in here. And let's see, we're gonna need some more. I'm gonna fill that up to where it comes just about to the curved part of my jar. You want to give it a little room, but it's gonna need some more water than that. So let's add some more to it. So why should somebody drink kombucha? Well, I'm gonna steal a research article from Dr. Axe, and I'll post this as well. But he listed 7 major reasons for drinking kombucha every day. And obviously with the probiotics, it's going to improve digestion. And as we all know, or as we will learn in this series, our immune system starts in our gut. So anything that we can do to improve digestion is fabulous. It's also been known to help with weight loss, increased energy, cleansing and detoxification, boosting your immune system. We all want to do that. Reduce joint pain, and has even been credited for cancer prevention. Now let's talk about cost. You can buy kombucha at the store and it's going to cost you between $3 and $5 a bottle. And this batch, as we get done here, we're going to let it sit for 2 weeks. And I actually just harvested a batch and got 17 bottles. So you can spend $3 or $5 for a bottle, or you can get yourself a jar and an organic SCOBY and make it yourself and make about 17 bottles for the same price. So to finish off our kombucha, we're going to make sure once we've added our water, our 2 cups of sugar, and our brewed tea, that this is room temperature. This is completely cooled off. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our SCOBY, we're going to fold him back over, and we're going to add him back into our jar. So he'll unfold there. When you first put him in there, he might go to the bottom for a little bit, but he will eventually float to the top. And we also want to add back in all of his juices. So this is the stuff that's going to take our tea and turn it into this tangy fermented beverage that's got tons of health benefits. So you can see he's now floating at the top. So over the next couple of weeks, he is going to absorb the sugar. That's going to be his food. I keep saying he because anyone who knows me knows we're a huge animal family and I name everything. So my SCOBY, his name is SCOBY actually because he likes to be different. So he's not an SCOBY, just so you know. So once we've added him back to the jar, the final thing that we need to do is we need to take a cheesecloth, ideally, which I have ordered but do not have yet. So I use this very expensive cover called a paper towel. And then I have just some basting twine that I tie around the top. And so once you tie that around the top, you want the SCOBY to be able to breathe. You're going to take this jar and set it in a cool, dark place for about 2 weeks. And we will close out our gut series with how to harvest our kombucha. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to send me an email, call, or text. Put it in the comment section. But that is how you make a batch of kombucha at home.